Did you know that a men's hormonal cycle lasts 24 hours, whereas a woman's hormonal cycle lasts 28 to 30 days? Yet, women with those daily cycles are being forced to work in a man's world of 24 hours when it comes to 9 to 5 jobs. The majority of them anyway. What the F? Like, how does this make any logical sense that we as a society have been conditioned to believing that this is so normal for us, for our feminine bodies? And healthy. It is so not. And the feminine cycle, periods, menstrual cycle, blood days, whatever you want to call it, has immense power and magic weaved within its biology and energy, which has been suppressed and shadowed out by mainstream science for decades. And this power and magnetic process has been casually tossed around like normal science. And women with period cycles are working like men when they have a completely different biological body clock. So in this video, I'm going to be diving deeper into how you can align your feminine cycle, what your period blood magic even is, and show you how your period actually holds wisdom and quite literally is the portal to your power. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild one. So let's start with what alignment even means. Alignment in the most simplest terms is balance. So when I say align with your feminine cycle as a woman, this basically just means come into balance with it. And there's a lot of aspects that go into this, because you're out of balance if you are on medication for your period. There's something not right. There's something not balanced in your body, but we're going to dive into that a bit deeper, right? And in order for us to do this, we first have to understand what our feminine cycle is, right? And how it should look and feel when it is in balance versus when it's out of balance. So let's just jump straight into that right now. So a balanced or an aligned period cycle looks like this. The menstrual cycle is counted from the first day of the period right until the start of the next. So day 1 is the first day that you bleed. And the cycle isn't the same for every one of us, because our menstrual bleeding might happen every 21 to 31 days. This can fluctuate according to your hormones. And it can last, for some women have their periods just bleeding for 2 days versus some women have it for 7 days, right? Again, this is normal. It's normal to have different days. It doesn't mean anyone's better than anyone or anyone's flow is out of balance. It's all in balance if you've been having a regular period with those numbers, right? And so this belief that also gets thrown around that lower blood loss or heavier blood loss means something other than that's just your unique cycle is bizarre and another con in the systems of society to get us onto medication for no reason other than to fuck up Mother Nature and our natural given cycle yet again. I will be ranting about that in another video, but for now, let's focus back into our balancing cycles, shall we? So, as long as you are having a regular bleed cycle, like I said, that lasts within a 21 to 35 day window, that lasts anywhere between 2 to 7 days, then you are good and you have a balanced menstrual flow. Now, what does a imbalanced menstrual cycle really look like? Well, anything that is not consistent, such as lower days of blood release or significantly less days of your window, like a 14-day cycle, which may be something that you want to check in with your doctor or your gynecologist, as this is not normal. This is not a balanced cycle, because you should not be getting your period twice in 1 month as the normal general rule of thumb. And on that note, just a little disclaimer here. This information provided is for educational purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice. As I am not a healthcare professional or a doctor, you should consult a medical professional or healthcare provider to seek medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So then we have to ask the question of what is aligning our feminine cycle? Like, what does that even mean? Well, basically means following your biological cycle for your body, not a man's 24-hour cycle, and follow yours by the days, not hours. So let's break that down in terms of what that could look like for you. So your period cycle typically has 4 main phases or seasons, as I like to think of them. So if you think of a year in Mother Nature, she has seasons too, right? And she follows those seasons as natural order to thrive. 365 days of the year, and her seasons are split into 4, similar to our cycle. So the season of winter, representing sadness, hibernation, death, low energy. All the trees lose their flowers as the death before the next seasonal rebirth, right? On planet Earth. Season of spring then brings hope, new beginnings, opportunities, where you get a few new flowers that you can see just blooming up here and there, which is signaling to everyone around us and on planet Earth that there is new energy here. Then we enter the season of summer, signs of growth, need for protection from the sun with all the trees protecting, an abundance of distractions because there's so much blooming all around us, there's so much to do, there's so much to feel, there's so much to bask in, and everything's blossoming, flowers are everywhere. It's a fun time to celebrate and be in that high vibe energy. And then we have the season of autumn or fall, depending on where you are in the world watching this video. And that's for successes and achievements. It's reflection. You reflect on what worked, what didn't work, what went well this year, failures, achievements. This is where we can shed and we can release what is no longer working for us. The trees start to shed their leaves here, right? You start to see leaves on the floor because the trees are starting to make that process known of renewal and start to prepare for the winter. And it repeats that cycle over and over and over again, every single year, consistently. So how does this relate to our feminine cycle, Janie? You might be asking. Well, exactly in the same way as Mama Earth, our feminine bodies also mirror our Mother Earth cycle, which is also feminine. And we have 4 similar seasons for our own body every single month. Mama Earth has it 4 times a year. We have it 4 times a month. Think about that just here for a second. It takes the Earth an entire year, an entire 365 days to go through her seasons. Yet for us as women, we have just 30 days to get through 4 seasons of our own. I'm just gonna enjoy the silence here and pause on this fact for a little second. That in itself, the fact that we as women have 4 fucking seasons in the space of 30 days is being treated like normal, forcing us to put all 4 seasons into one masculine cycle of 24 hours. Nah. Nope. I'm not having it anymore, and neither should you. And the only way to move into your alignment with your feminine cycle is fighting for your belief around it, which we'll definitely dive onto later in this video. So, what are the feminine seasons? I'm glad you asked. I love sharing my take on this and my own intuitive perspective and the way I have experimented and observed women in my life with this process, and it works for my business, love life, and I even educate my 5-year-old son with this, who, bless him, is so sweet and actually knows like mummy's bleeding days are days to give extra space and extra cuddles. So feel free to give this a try in your own life to start rocking your own magical God-given powers like this powerful woman that you are. Okay, so let's break down the seasons in your body in the feminine cycle. So season 1, this is the winter season, which is the menstruation. Season 1 is your winter, which is when you menstruate, when you actually bleed. Season 2 is the spring phase. This is the follicular phase. Season 3 is your summer, the ovulation, and season 4 is the luteal phase. So I like to think of the menstruation phase, which is the entire time that you actually bleed, as your winter, from the first day of bleeding, which is the first day of your cycle, until the last day of your bleeding. That entire time is your winter season. You want to really relax your body and hibernate during this time. You should not be working here in this phase, and if you do, light work with lots of rest is recommended, because if you look at animals, when they hibernate, what do? They literally sleep. They don't go hunting, they don't go looking for food. They've done all of that in the previous seasons, and now they're resting before the next cycle, right? That is literally what we are meant to do in this winter period when you're bleeding. And this is also where you get to feel sad, you get to release any tears if you want, you get to watch movies, you get to eat chocolate, any of that stuff that's coming up inside of your body, releasing it. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel comfortable and grieve anything that is coming up for you in your body for you to release during this phase. The second season is the follicular phase, which is the longest phase of the cycle. And so I like to look at this as our inner springtime, where we have hope and that renewal energy, where we start to feel we're just coming out of the winter, starting to feel hopeful of refreshing energy coming through into our bodies. And we're starting to move out of that hibernation mode and feeling into some high bursts of energy starting to seep through with excitement for the week. And this is where I like to create, and so use this time wisely, because this is the energetic space where you are able to do a lot in the short space of time that you've got, usually about a week and a half window to play around with. And so if you've got any projects that need to be done, any tasks, any housework, anything that requires high energy, this is the season you want to be doing it in. And it's all about creation, because it's that new energy, right, that's coming up to be birthed. And so anything that's coming out of you to be created or birthed in this world, this is the time. Then we've got season 3, which is your ovulation, which is what I call the summer season for all of us, because this is literally, it only lasts 3 to 4 days, but this is where you could be bursting through the roof with that high energy. So springtime, yeah, you have a bit of energy churning through, it's coming through slowly, it's trickling in. But summer, 3 to 4 days, you'll have this peak that will literally shoot up, and that's the only way I can describe it in my body. This is what it feels like. But you could be bursting with high energy, you feel amazing, you feel on top of the world, you may be highly charismatic, you want to be social, you you want to go out there, and literally your libido as well could be extra kinky, and that's where you could be in that good space of like, oh yeah, I want to get it on. So this is the best time to actually get it on as well, because naturally what's happening inside of your body in summer is you're releasing an egg in preparation for pregnancy, if we talk traditional reasons behind our feminine cycle, and the portal is now for birthing new life into the world, and that's the explanation for this high peak, high rise in energy. So effing incredible. And then we enter the season 4, which is the luteal phase, which is the fall or autumn in the UK, and this can last 10 to 14 days. So it can be the bummer for a lot of women before the period actually hits your body, before winter even comes. This could be the worst phase for a lot of women emotionally. The mood swings, all of that stuff starts to hit you around this time. And just like autumn brings rain, the leaves fall, it can be a bit of gloomy weather, right? Just after this summer, this high summer, beautiful period. And then suddenly you have the low. Exactly the same in our feminine bodies, where you've had this amazing peak in summer and then suddenly you start to go down. Suddenly things start to drop inside of your body and you start to feel low, because we tend to go inwards during this phase, during this season in our period cycle, because what your body is actually doing is it's checking whether to prepare for pregnancy or not. And if you're not pregnant, your previously extremely high levels of progesterone levels will drop, which can look like extreme highs during that summer period and then a sudden crashing during this next phase of autumn or the fall. And the worst of this is that the fall in our cycle takes the longest of all seasons. Like, this is the longest part of it, where it just feels like a bleh. And this is the season that a lot of women are reported to have struggled with PMS symptoms. The less progesterone, the bluer you will tend to feel, and your ability to concentrate might suffer. You might get headaches. This is where you get sensitive breasts, mood swings, those sugar cravings start to kick in, where you just want chocolate and sweet stuff. You might get a bit of nausea. Those who have it really, really bad, tummy cramping, shooting pain near your ovaries might be a sign, and blemishes. You might start to pop spots. You know, this is the biggie right here, because the way many women tend to feel right before the period is usually not accepted in society and not understood. It's not being taught. This in itself might make you feel very lonely and misunderstood, because women, most people in society have been taught, or we've been educated to think that the actual period during the cycle when you're bleeding is the only time you're supposed to be moody, but that's not the case. As explained in this video, we have seasons, and there are 2 core darker seasons and 2 core lighter seasons. And so every month you're going to be spending at least 15 days in your winter and fall, and the other 15 in the spring and the summer. And so it's not bipolar, it's not mood disorders, it's your natural fucking cycle. And it's harder to actually predict your emotional state during your menstrual fall. Okay, so one minute you might want to cuddle up with someone on the couch, and the other minute you might want to just hide under the blankets and cry for no reason. That is okay. I just want to literally just be here. I'm filming this video just to let you know that this is absolutely okay. You are good if you are flowing in these states. You are absolutely, there's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. This is just not being taught in mainstream society, which needs to be taught. Women need to understand their power and stop resisting what is natural to their bodies. Okay, be nice to your body, be nice to your mind at this moment, and accept that this is very, very fucking normal and completely okay. And if you have a partner, educate them, show them this video if you must, teach them how to love on you during these seasons and support you during these seasonal changes in your body. Because if you understand the earth, and everybody understands weather in a most general term, most people understand the seasons in the world and how they work. And if you can understand the way the seasons work in the world, you can understand the way the seasons work in a woman. The only difference is whether you're going to choose to accept that in yourself first. As a woman, if you're watching this, you need to accept that about yourself in order for somebody else to also accept it about you. And then slowly but surely people will start to be more aware, understand, and accepting of the actual cycle and what it represents. And again, this is what I have experienced deeply and experimented with my own partner, my soulmate, and I can say it's one of the best things for our love life and our relationship. And also my son, who's only 5, but he knows, like I said earlier, when to give mummy space, when to give mummy cuddles, extra good behavior to accommodate my needs during my seasons. And I, in return, honor them both as males to treat them with extra goodies in my spring and summertime. And this is literally the balance of being in alignment, in true alignment with our divine feminine magic. And there is so much more we can dive into, like the blood, which is not something to wrinkle our noses at in disgust, but to honor, as that blood literally keeps toxins out of our body. And if you did not know this magical secret, then here you are. Your period blood, during your cycle actually absorbs not only your own emotional junk, but that of the person that you are intimately sleeping with, have sexual intimacy with. So what your body does is it absorbs that emotional gunk and then it chucks it out during your period cycle. So anything that you may have picked up from your partner, from your other half, emotionally gets released from your body through your period blood. That's literally why there's a good reason that after your period, the blood's released, you feel that lightness, you feel that spring energy, that renewal, right? And your system is literally energized, it's replenished, it's revived. So on a side note, don't ever let any man sleeping with you ever disrespect your body and this period process, and educate them. If they don't want to listen, then that's your call on whether you want a masculine like that in your life who can't honor your feminine cycle with the pure magic that it truly is. This again is not a toxic men video, but we will definitely dive deeper into that. So if you have not already, then please subscribe and like my channel, and also like this video if you are already enjoying it, and comment below how you feel regarding your own experience with your own cycle, any relationship issues because of your cycle or the mood swings that come with it. I would love to know, and I will personally reply to every single comment that you drop below. Again, if you have any topics that you want me to cover regarding this, then drop those below in the comments too, and I'll definitely look to create something for you. So quick before we wrap up this video, I just want to share with you how you can also align your period cycle to your business or creative process like I do. So for example, keep your autumn and your winter seasons as write-offs and nourishment times where you can practice breath work, light yoga, exercising to elevate your mood, reading new books, learning new things, and journaling, similar to things that you would do in a new moon cycle because the energy levels are lower. And then utilizing the spring and summer seasons to really get focused, to create and take on all the tasks that you can during those times as a productive and efficient way that allows you to again nurture and rest when it comes to your autumn, your fall, and your winter seasons. For example, with my own content creation and business journey, I create batch content and record any private readings in my spring and summer, and then I will edit, learn, I will rest more in my fall and winter phases before churning more creation in the following spring or summer season. I also use this period tracker, which I will pop in the description link below, which is an app to help me know what phase I'm in, and my partner also uses it so that he knows as soon as I come on my fall or my winter. He keeps regular checks before I even do now to prepare us both, which is super sweet, and obviously why he is my soulmate as well. I will be doing a soulmate video for you soon, so for those of you wanting that, just drop me a comment below and I'll be sure to answer any questions. So I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified for weekly wisdom coming out, and like this video if you enjoyed it. And I hope your feminine cycle starts to be a fun place for you to start to explore and accept and honor and enjoy through this newfound awareness if it's new to you. And if not, I hope you enjoy diving deeper into it than ever before to boost your innate magic, power, and intuitive wisdom. Lots of love.